Hello, dear students. It's time for revision of Unit 4 Adventure in English. In this video, I have compiled the explanation and the exercises of all the units. The activities consisting of Bachendri Pal, a heroine of the Himalayas, conquering Everest, and the poem Topsy Turvy Land, along with the fun activities. So, let's start with the video. Now, before starting the chapter, there is an introductory activity. In this activity, you have to identify the personalities in these pictures. You know, these are some prominent women who have done some extraordinary work in their field. First picture is of Bochendri Pal, and we'll be studying about her now. The second picture is of Pratibha Patil. Pratibha Patil was an Indian politician who served as the 12th President of India from 2007 to 2012, and she is the only woman to have held the office. She is the first President of India, and previously she served as the Governor of Rajasthan from 2004 to 2007. After that, we have picture of Saina Nehwal. You might have heard this name and you know that she is an Indian professional badminton player. She has been former world number 1 in badminton and she has won over 24 international titles. She has also represented India 3 times in the Olympics and has won a bronze medal in her second appearance. And the last picture is of Sunita Williams. She is an American astronaut and she held the records for most spacewalks by a woman. Spacewalks means some activity outside the spacecraft by astronauts. Like they are in space, literally in space, not in their spacecraft. She held the records for most spacewalks and most spacewalk time for a woman. As said, we'll be studying about Bachendri Pal. Let's start with activity 2. Bachendri Pal, a heroine of the Himalayas. Heroine. Who is a heroine? Normally, we have started using this term for an actress. A person, a female lead actress in the movie. They are called heroine, but in actual terms, the real meaning of heroine is a person who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Now, Bachendri Pal, she is a heroine of the Himalayas because of her outstanding achievements in the Himalayas. Let's read about her. Bachendri Pal was born in 1954 in a village called Nakuri in the district of Garhwal in Uttaranchal. She was born in 1954. Her father, Kishan Singh Pal, was a small trader. Previously you have heard the word trade. So trade means business. So a trader who is buying or selling things. So he was a small trader. The family had 5 children and Bachendri Pal was the middle one. Out of the 5 children, she was the middle one. That is, she was the third one. Right from her childhood, Bachendri was very active. Active means she always used to do something. She was good at both her studies and sports. She was not a bookworm who was only concentrated on studies, nor a child who just used to enjoy sports. She was good at both studies and sports. Bachendri's first mountaineering experience was at the age of 12. Mountaineering means mountain climbing. So that hiking and trekking, that mountain climbing, that first experience was at the age of 12, just like you. She, along with her classmates, went for a picnic. She climbed a height of 13,123 feet with a few of her friends. Now, the height of Girnar that we have here is 3000 feet, or like to be exact, 3507 feet. And Bachendri, at the age of 12, she climbed the height of 13,123 feet with a few of her friends. However, they couldn't climb down the height as it became dark. Now, normally to climb 3000 feet, it takes about 2 or 3 hours. So, imagine to climb 13,000 feet. They climbed there, but they could not come down get because it became dark. It was evening and they cannot see, like, on mountains there is no lights or so. So, as it became dark, they could not climb down the height. They could not come down the mountain. They had to spend the night without food and shelter. Shelter means something that a place that protects you from bad weather or danger. So they spent the night on the mountain without food and shelter. It was an unforgettable experience for Bachendri Pal, and it increased her love for adventure and mountaineering. So that was the first experience. Though there were some difficulties, but still it was an unforgettable experience. She always remembered it, and it increased her love for adventure and mountaineering. Though there were difficulties, Bachendri Pal continued her studies and completed it successfully. The principal of the college. The principal of the school advised her parents to send her to college. She completed her studies and became the first girl in her village to graduate. There were some difficulties, but still, she completed her studies successfully with good marks. The principal of the college advised her parents to send her to college. Now, she was born in a small town, so many people do not study more. But the principal said to her parents that she should be sent to college to complete her studies, and she completed that and became the first girl in her village to graduate. Graduate means after the schooling, after 12th, when you do college and you get the degree, that is called graduation. So she was the first girl from her village to graduate, and during her college days, Bachendri Pal also secured the first position in the event of rifle shooting. Rifle, it's a gun kind of. So she even got first position in rifle shooting. Quite a bright child, don't you think? One day, Bachendri Pal told her parents about her dream of becoming a professional mountaineer. Professional mountaineer are the people who climb mountains all over the world, who climb different treks, who climb at different heights. So she wanted to be a professional mountaineer. Her parents did not like her idea. They thought that mountaineering was not an appropriate work for a woman. They wanted her to be a teacher, but Bachendri Pal was firm. Now, she told that she wants to be a professional mountaineer. His father, he was a small trader in a small town. So, even their mindset would be such. And even if people are living in metro cities, but still there is some rigidity about what a woman can do and what a woman shouldn't do. So her parents did not like her idea, and they thought that mountaineering was not an appropriate work for a woman. They wanted her to be a teacher, but Bachendri Pal was firm. Firm means she had that strong willpower, she was determined. She convinced her parents to allow her to join the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. Her instructors soon realized that she was an extraordinary student and treated her as Everest material. She was determined that she wants to be a professional mountaineer, so she convinced her parents and they allowed her to join the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. There, it is an institute where you get special training on mountaineering, how to climb different mountains. Her instructors soon realized that she was an extraordinary student. Extraordinary means someone who is very unusual, who is more than ordinary, who has something that extra. So she was an extraordinary student, and her instructors started treating her like Everest material. Everest material means a person who can climb the Everest, the highest peak in the world. In 1982, while at NIM, NIM is the short form for Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Bachendri Pal had the opportunity to climb the Gangotri and Rutugaria peaks as well. So, while she was at NIM, she had the opportunity, she got the chance to climb the Gangotri. Gangotri is the origin of the river Ganga, and Rutugaria peaks as well. Meanwhile, she also got the job of an instructor at National Adventure Foundation, which trains women for mountaineering. So while she herself was taking instructions, she was learning. She also got the job of an instructor at National Adventure Foundation (NAF), which trains women for mountaineering, which is especially focusing on women mountaineers. So that's it about Bachendri Pal. Don't you think it was quite a small comprehension kind of thing, where you got a passage, you understood it, and after that you are given some very easy questions which you have to answer. But before going to question answers, let's do keywords or the meanings of certain new words. First word is trader. Now, if you know what is trade, trader is also easy. So, a trader is a person who buys or sells things. Mountaineering means mountain climbing. Shelter, a place that protects you from bad weather or danger. Hardships means difficult conditions of life. Secure, to get something with hard work. Firm, a person with strong willpower or strong determination. Convince, to make someone believe. And peak is the top of a mountain. These are very easy words. You will have to write these in your homework today. Activity 3. Answer the following questions. Now, we usually study chapter in one video and we do its exercises in another video. But this chapter or this passage was really small, so it's kind of comprehension. Just now, you got the information, but even from that information, you can answer these questions. First one. In which event did Bachendri Pal secure the first position? Bachendri Pal secured the first position in the event of rifle shooting. What was her dream? Her dream was to be a professional mountaineer. What did Bachendri's parents think about the profession she chose? Bachendri's parents thought that mountaineering, the profession she chose, was not an appropriate work for a woman. Question 4. Why did her instructor treat her as Everest material? Her instructor treated her as Everest material because he realized she was an extraordinary student. Question 5. What is the full form of NIM and NAF? NIM stands for Nehru Institute of Mountaineering and NAF stands for National Adventure Foundation. Activity 4. Note any 3 qualities of Bachendri Pal. Exchange your points with your friends and form a paragraph by writing what are the qualities you would like to imbibe in yourself. Imbibe means to take in, like which you will like to have in yourself. Now, you are not doing this or you are not doing this in class, so you won't be talking with your friends. But you can talk about what you learned today with your parents and you can share with them what kind of qualities you would like to take in yourself. Now, the three basic qualities I noted are that she was active, she was good at studies as well as sports, and she was firm. She had strong determination. You can write any other qualities that you may have found, and right now you don't have to write any passage or you don't have to form a paragraph. In activity 1 to 4, first we studied about the prominent personalities like Bachendri Pal, Pratibha Patil, Saina Nehwal, and Sunita Williams. And then in activity 2, we read about Bachendri Pal, a heroine of the Himalayas. Let's do quickly revise what was written there. Bachendri Pal was born in 1954 in a village called Nakori in the district of Garhwal in Uttaranchal. Her father, Kishan Singh Pal, was a small trader. The family had 5 children and Bachendri Pal was the middle one. Right from her childhood, Bachendri was very active. She was good at both her studies and sports. Bachendri's first mountaineering experience was at the age of 12. She, along with her classmates, went for a picnic. She climbed a height of 13,123 feet with a few of her friends. However, they couldn't climb down the height as it became dark. They had to spend the night without food and shelter. It was an unforgettable experience for Bachendri Pal, and it increased her love for adventure and mountaineering. Though there were hardships, Bachendri Pal continued her studies and completed it successfully. The principal of the school advised her parents to send her to college. She completed her studies and became the first girl in her village to graduate. During her college days, Bachendri Pal also secured the first position in the event of rifle shooting. One day, Bachendri Pal told her parents about her dream of becoming a professional mountaineer. Her parents did not like her idea. They thought that mountaineering was not an appropriate work for a woman. They wanted her to be a teacher, but Bachendri Pal was firm. She convinced her parents to allow her to join the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering (NIM). Her instructors soon realized that she was an extraordinary student and treated her as Everest material. In 1982, while at NIM, Bachendri Pal had the opportunity to climb the Gangotri and the Rudugariar peaks as well. Meanwhile, she also got the job of an instructor at National Adventure Foundation, which trains women for mountaineering. And after this, we did the question answers and the meanings. So now let's move ahead with activity 5. Activity 5. Fill in the missing letters to create a word from the article given below. Then write the full word on the line. The clues are given, some missing words are given, and you have to fill them after reading the article given below. So first, let's read the article. Activity 6. Read the following passage. The passage is Conquering Everest. Conquering means to win something. So, winning Everest, it does not mean that it belongs to you now, but the highest mountain, when you climb it, when you reach the top of it, that means you have conquered Everest. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on earth. Its peak is located on the border between Nepal and Tibet in China. It is a part of the Great Himalayan Mountain Range. The Great Himalayan Mountain Range, which are to the north of India, which act as a natural border for India. They are part of Himalayan mountain range, and the peak, the top of the mountain, the top of Everest is located on the border between Nepal and Tibet in China, and it is the tallest mountain on earth. Its height is 8,848 meters, or in feet, if we say 29,029 feet. So you can imagine how how tall it is. So it is the tallest mountain on earth. For many years, climbers tried and failed to reach the summit of Mount Everest. Summit, the top of a mountain, or as we studied, the peak. So the top of that mountain. Many years, climbers tried and failed to reach the top of Mount Everest. In 1953, the British put everything they had into giving it one more try. British means people of Great Britain or the United Kingdom. So, or the language. So the people of United Kingdom or people of Great Britain, they tried everything and thought of giving it one more try. They hoped that their climbers will reach the top in time for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth. Coronation is the ceremony at which a person is made king or queen. So before Queen Elizabeth is coronated, they thought that the climbers can reach the top in time for the coronation for Queen Elizabeth. 10 different climbers from all over the world were chosen to make the trek. Trek means that journey on foot. They had to reach the top on foot, not via helicopter or any other device. They had to climb it. In April and May, supplies were relayed up the mountain and camps were set up every 1,000 to 2,000 feet. April and May. Now, while climbing Mount Everest, May is considered the ideal time to climb because of the weather conditions. Otherwise, there is a snowstorm or the weather is too cold. So, only during May, people can easily climb it. So, before that trek started, supplies were relayed. Now, students, you have done your relay race where you had to pass that baton to the other person. So, during April and May, supplies were relayed up the mountain. So, supplies were passed from one person to another and camps were set up every 1,000 to 2,000 feet. So, from the beginning, after 1,000 or 2,000 feet, there was one camp where there were supplies. After 1,000 feet, there was another camp. So, that way, camps were set up. When they returned home, journalists kept asking the two men who reached the summit first. Each time they were asked, the response was the same. We reached it together as a team. So, with lots of effort in 1953, on 29th May, Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, they reached the summit first. They were the first to ascend Mount Everest. And when they returned home, journalists kept on asking who reached the summit first, who was the first person to reach there. And each time they were asked, the response was the same. Their reply was the same. We reached it together as a team. Now, lots of efforts were put by various people, and even though those two may have first person may be someone else and second one must be just behind him, but no one can do that by themselves. So it was always their answer that we reached it together as a team. The passage is written by Kimberly M. Hutmaker. So now from the article, let's fill in the blanks in activity 5. First word, the clue is top of a mountain. Top of a mountain is also called peak or from the article summit. So the word which fits here is summit, SUMMIT, and then the whole word. Second word, from the United Kingdom. United Kingdom or from the Great Britain, and they are called British language or British people. So the word is British. Third one, journey on foot. The answer is TREK, trek. Fourth word, reply or answer. The answer blanks will be filled with response. And fifth word, passed something along from one person to another. Students, here the clue is given in past tense, passed. That's why the correct answer will be relayed. Otherwise, it can be R-E-L-A-Y, relay. It means the same, but as the word is in past tense, the correct answer will also has to be in past tense. After activity 5 of fill in the missing letters, activity 6, reading the passage, it's time for activity 7. Observe the table given below and complete the sentences. The table has serial number, name, nationality of the people given, their date of birth and date of ascent. Ascent means the act of climbing or going up. Since you were a child, you have been doing ascending and descending numbers. So ascending, it means going up, and descending, coming down. So the date of ascent. Here, this information is about the date of ascent of Mount Everest, and these are the women with their nationality, date of birth and date of ascent. First one is Sharon Wood, who is Canadian from Canada. Her date of birth is 18th May 1957, date of ascent 20th May 1986. Second one, Santosh Yadav from India, born 10th October 1967 and date of ascent 12th May 1992. Third, Dicky Dolma from India, born 5th April 1974 and date of ascent 10th May 1993. And fourth, Junko Tabi from Japan, date of birth 22nd September 1939 and date of ascent 16th May 1975. From all these we can get certain information, and from that we have to complete the sentences. For example, from about Junko Tabi, we can say that she was the first one to ascend Mount Everest, and about Sharon Wood, we can say that she was the youngest to climb. It's not from 1939 to 1975. If we say that age, it is about 35 years. But from 1957 to 86, we can say that she was about 29 years old. So that's way, let's fill the sentences. First one. The first woman to climb Mount Everest is blank at the age of blank. First woman will be for 1975, 16th May 1975, and she is Junko Tabi, and she did it at the age of 1975 minus 1939, so we get 35 years. Second one, Sharon Wood was blank years old when she blank. From the information, we can say that Sharon Wood was 29 years old when she climbed Mount Everest. How can we say 29 years old? 1986, May 1986 minus May 1957. Third one, most of the climbers climbed the Everest during the month of May because of the good weather conditions. It's not given here, but as I said previously, that during May the weather is good for climbing. There are no snowstorms, or there is no acute cold, so people can trek there. It's the only favorable one. It's not as easy as we have the condition here, but it's better for trekking. Fourth one, the eldest woman among all is blank and is at present blank years old. Eldest woman would be the one who is born earliest, and she is Junko Tabi, as she was born on 22nd September 1939. And at present, you have to count from the years. Now, when the textbook was printed, all the details may not have been there. At present, Junko Tabi is no more. She passed away on 20th October 2016. But if she was alive, she would have been 80 years old. Dicky Dolma was the blank climber among all. Dicky Dolma. She was born on 1974 and she climbed at 1993. So, Dicky Dolma is the youngest climber among all. Previously, I said my mistake was there, but Dicky Dolma was the youngest and she climbed it at the age of 19. Now let's study the keywords or meanings. First word, conquering. It means to win something. Second, summit, the top of a mountain. Third word, coronation, a ceremony at which a person is made king or queen. Fourth, trek, journey on foot. Fifth, relayed, passed something along from one person to another. And sixth, ascent, the act of climbing or going up. Topsy-turvy land. Now, first of all, what is topsy-turvy? It means upside down. And there is nothing normal. It is a kind of confusing or a chaotic situation. So, this is the picture of topsy-turvy land. What do we see here? That people are walking on their hand. They wear their cap on their feet. Students are going to school at night. And the boat is running on the streets and the bus is running on the waters. Plus, the sea is made of sand. And there are various other unusual things in this poem. Let's read it. The people walk upon their heads, the sea is made of sand. The children go to school by night in topsy-turvy land. So what happens? People walk upon their heads. Their heads are down and legs are up. So they walk upon their head and the sea is made of sand. What is sea normally made of? The sea is made of water. But instead of that, the sea is made of sand. And children go to school by night. Instead of day, the children are going to school at night in topsy-turvy land. The front door step is at the back. You're walking when you stand. You wear your hat upon your feet in topsy-turvy land. The front door through which we enter the houses. But it does not have step. Steps are at the back of the house. And when you're standing, you're actually walking. Isn't it quite confusing? Then you wear your hat upon your feet. Instead of our heads, we use our hats on our feet in topsy-turvy land. And buses on the sea you'll meet while pleasure boats are planned to travel up and down the streets in topsy-turvy land. And buses on the sea you will meet. On the sea, you'll find buses. And pleasure boats to travel up and down the streets will be planned. Pleasure boats are the boats. Pleasure boat is a large boat which takes people for trips on rivers, lakes, or on the sea for pleasure. It is usually made for short journeys. So these pleasure boats are planned to travel up and down on the streets. Like instead of buses which run on streets, pleasure boats are running on the streets and buses are running on the sea in topsy-turvy land. You pay for what you never get. I think it must be grand, for when you go, you're coming back in topsy-turvy land. You want something, you pay for it, but you do not get it. So that is what happens in topsy-turvy land. And I think it must be grand. It must be fun. grand normally means magnificent, but out of various meanings of grand, the one used here is exciting or fun. Why? Because when you go in topsy-turvy land, you are actually coming back. So if you have to go to school, you are going to school, but you are coming back from school. So that's how our topsy-turvy land is. So it was quite an easy, funny, entertaining poem. Let's read it once again. The people walk upon their heads, the sea is made of sand. The children go to school by night in topsy-turvy land. The front doorstep is at the back, you're walking when you stand. You wear your hat upon your feet in topsy-turvy land. And buses on the sea you'll meet while pleasure boats are planned to travel up and down the streets in topsy-turvy land. You pay for what you never get. I think it must be grand, for when you go, you're coming back in topsy-turvy land. So, what did we study in this poem? That it takes us to the land where everything is upside down. It tells us about a strange land where nothing is normal. In fact, the normal that we live in, everything is the opposite of that in this land. It has many amusing things. For instance, the sea does not contain water and instead it is full of sand. Similarly, there are many other strange things going on in this land which the poem mentions, like how the children do not go to school during the day, rather they go to school at night. Further, the houses have a front doorstep at the back. What is most amusing is that in this land, people walk on their hands instead of their feet. It is an entertaining poem with hilarious scenarios to think about. So after the poem, let's do the meanings. We just have two new words. First word is topsy-turvy. It means upside down, confused. Second word, grand. The word means here great or enjoyable. After the poem and meanings, it's time for activity 8. Let's write a same poem by filling missing words in the blanks. You are given the same kind of poem, but there are blanks which you have to fill by yourself. Now, you have to think of an imaginary land, which is quite unusual. And when you are up to thinking, I remember a advertisement which I heard when I was small. It's still in my mind and it's really good. It was made by Dairy Milk about a land where everything is made of chocolate. And the tune was something like Kitna maza aaye re, ye duniya Dairy Milk ki ban jaye, Dairy Milk ke panchi, Dairy Milk ke पेड़, Dairy Milk का postman आया, चिट्ठी में भी Dairy Milk लाया. डॉगी बोला कौन हो तुम? पोस्टमैन खा गया उसकी दुम. कितना मजा आए रे. So this was an imaginary land which was made of dairy milk. Same way you have to write the poem according to your imagination. And after that, it's time for activity 9. Find 9 words related to adventure from the following grid. I know most of the students would have solved this even when before this chapter started. You like to solve such puzzles, so you must have done this, and both these activities you have to do in your textbook only. And now the last activity of this chapter is a fun activity. Even like previous activity, I hope you must have done it and have got the correct answers. But still, let's do it. Even this activity, you just have to write in your textbook. First puzzle is, I jump when I walk, I sit when I stand. My pouch holds something precious. Who am I? It's kangaroo. Second, choke the landscape with my ashy snow. my boiling fountain of fire and smoke. Better run through my river flows slow. I cover all you see with my darkened cloak. Who am I? It's the dangerous volcano. Third, I have a neck but no head. I have 2 arms but no hands. Who am I? It's a shirt, or it can also be a t shirt. Fourth, you saw me where I was never. I walked away with you. All that separates is a sheet of glass. Our only difference is the point of view. Who am I? It's the reflection. And the last one, I sing, I talk. You can hear me, but not touch or see. Who am I? It's your voice. So that's it with Unit 4 Adventure. All the parts are over. I want you to revise this lesson once and complete all the activities which I have given in classwork in your notebook. The chapter gets over here. So that's all about Unit 4. You can go through this video or the individual videos, and you can study about different subjects as well. There's no homework for today as we are just doing revision. So that's it. Enjoy your day.